Hello Lana, welcome to my lesson. Today we want to look at the major scales in music. So welcome to my lesson. So today we look at various major scales in music. The first scale that we want to look at is a C major scale. A C major scale. So we have the rules that we use called, you see, tone, semitone, tone, semitone. So in a normal way, between E and F there is a semitone. Between B and C there is a semitone. When you look at this keyboard here, between E and F there is a semitone. Between B and C there is a semitone. So when you look at this, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, this is a C major scale. There is no sharp, there is no accidental, so it is in a normal way. So a C major scale is the mother and the father of all the scales that are there in music. Now let's look at a G major scale. The same way, say tone, semitone, tone, semitone. So in a normal way, between B, as I have said, between B and C there is a semitone. Again, in a normal way, again, between E and F there is a semitone. But we want this semitone to be here. How are we going to do? So we are saying we will put now we will put a sharp, one sharp, to reduce the number of tones that are here. This to become a half, and this to remain as a tone. Now this sharp indicates that we have reduced this half, this one tone to be a half tone or a semitone, or a semitone, and this one to be a whole number. This we are using W, we are using S. So this is a G major scale. So a G major scale has one sharp. So when you look at here, I have a sharp here. So there is something that I want you to know. When you are writing, you are putting a sharp on the scale. When you are using the numbers, the sharp will be in front of the letter. But when you are putting on a staff, the sharp will be behind the note. That's the a G major scale. Whenever you want to play the music, you find it on a certain piece of music, there is one sharp. It means that song was played in a G major scale. The next scale we want to look at is a D major scale. A D major scale is D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Now the rules is simple: is tone, semitone, tone, semitone. Now when you look at in a normal way, the EF is the one that has a semitone, but now it has a tone. What do we do? Now we want to increase. We want to increase the tone. This is a semitone, but if I put a sharp here, this means I have reduced this tone that was here between G. But then between G, F and G there is a tone, but now we want this to be a semitone. So if I put one sharp, this will become a tone now. instead of being a semitone, now it become a tone. Now we are continuing tone, tone, semitone. Here between B and C in a normal way there is a semitone. But now we want this between B and C to be a full tone or a whole tone. So now we will put a sharp again here on C. We decrease, we decrease the tone that was here to be a half, then this between B and C to be a tone. So that's why we have two sharps in a D major scale. When you look at here, when you look at here between F and G, that's where you have put a sharp. Another sharp is on C. Now is our C, our D major scale here. Can see I have indicated. Let me look at the next scale. The next scale that I want to look at is A major scale. A major scale has three sharps. It has three sharps. Now we are saying tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Remember what I have said here. In a normal way, in between here, we highlight in between here, C, B and C, there is a semitone. But we want this semitone to be a tone. What do we do? Now we are going to decrease this tone between D, C and D. We put a sharp. Now this between B and C there is a tone. Tone, 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 semitone. Remember another again, between E and F in a normal way there is a semitone, but we want to increase this to be a tone. What do? We will decrease here this tone. We decrease this tone here. Now this was a tone and this was a half. Now is a tone. Now here we have now is a half. Now we want to be a tone. What do? We put a sharp here to decrease. Remember this was a half. Now we want to be a tone. Now we want this to be a half. Now if we put a sharp, this will decrease from a tone to a semitone and this become a tone. That's the G major, A major scale. A major scale has three sharps. It has three sharps. That's when you can see here it will be here, another one will be here, then another one will be here. So that you can see it here, you can see it here. Okay, then you can see it here. So that's what I'm saying here. Then F, then G. That's where we have indicated the sharps. It has three sharps. Next scale that we want to look at is E major scale. And the E major scale here, remember we have a tone, semitone, tone, saying tone, semitone. Something to remember, in between E and F in a normal way here there is a semitone. But we want to increase this semitone to be a tone. What do? We put, we are going to put a sharp here. We put a sharp here. Then we increase the between E and F to be a tone. But now between F and G there is now a semitone. What do? We decrease on G, then we now between F and G there was a semitone. Now it become one because we have decreased the tone between G and A. Then we have tone, semitone. Remember, between B and C there is a semitone. We want to increase this to be a tone. Let's increase this to be a tone. What do? We put a sharp here. We put a sharp here so that you can be able to increase this to be, instead of being a semitone, it become a tone. Now here we have a semitone. What do? We come and decrease a tone from between D and S, then it become a semitone. Now we say tone, semitone, tone, semitone. So when you look at this, here between F, we have decreased F, we have decreased G, we have decreased C and D. So that's why you have four sharps. So when you look at here, you have one here, you have another one here, you have another one here, you have another one here. On F, there is F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and D sharp. That's why you have four sharps. Let's look at another major scale, which is B. B is tone, semitone, tone, semitone. But in a normal way, between C and B, there is a semitone. So now we want to make this to be a tone. What do? We put a sharp on C. We increase the tone that we reduce the tone between C and D, then we increase the tone between B and C to become a tone instead of a semitone. Now here we will have a what? A tone. Now here there is a semitone. Now we want this between E, D and E to be a semitone, but in a normal way there is a tone. Now we put a sharp to decrease this to be a half. Now we have tone, semitone. But in a normal way, between what? Between E and F there is a semitone. Now we want to increase this to be a tone. Now we put a sharp here to decrease the tone between F and G, to increase the semitone between E and F. This is a half. Now what do we do? Here is a semitone, but here is a tone. Now what do? We decrease again a tone between A, G and A to be a semitone. We increase a semitone from E and G to be a tone. Now here you have a semitone. What do? We want to decrease a tone between E and B to be a semitone, so that this can be a tone. Now here we have a tone, tone, semitone. Then here we have a tone.